gorgeous, welcome back to the makeup aisle. Today's video is going to be all about eyeshadow palettes. So I'm continuing on with my makeup collection video. I have already uploaded several. I decided to do it in a series type of format. I know a lot of YouTubers are doing it that way recently, and I personally do like it that way better, because that way if you're interested more in eyeshadows than lipsticks, you can watch that instead. And also the videos aren't like super long. I also like the fact that you can really talk in depth a little more about whatever that topic is that video. So today I'm going to be talking about my eyeshadow palettes, so I can talk a little more in depth about each palette, really show you the shades and colors and that sort of thing, and tell you why I like this palette better than that palette, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to start over here. I do have more palettes in my Alex drawers, but just the way the setup is, I think it's easier that I bring everything out to the top and show you that way. So I'm going to start out with these two here. These are actually two kind of face palettes, I guess. These are the Stila Perfect Me Perfect Hue Eye and Cheek palette, but I thought I would bring it out because it does have eyeshadows. So this is what the first one looks like. I had gotten two of these when I believe Ulta was having one of their 21 Days of Beauty. I've had my eyes on these when they first came out, so to get them on sale was a steal. I think I got them at like 50% off. And then this is the second one. I believe there were 3 or 4 of these, but these are the two that spoke to me the most. I like these face palettes very much, and I've used them both already. So the next one is also a Stila palette. I don't want to blind you, but this is one of their Eyes Are the Window shadow palettes, and this is the Mine palette, which is the all matte, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It's one of my favorite palettes. The mattes are gorgeous. The way the shades just, you know, go on the eyes, the blendability, all that is just gorgeous. And I got this as well at another sale. So I think Ulta was doing their 21 Days of Beauty, and I got this for half off because I believe this is like $40 or $50 regular priced. The next palette I have is the Lime Crime Venus palette. I had put off getting this for quite some time, and I finally did get it, and I am so happy that I did. These shades are absolutely gorgeous. The way they go on the eyes, just like the wear time on these are just sick. It's so good. I really do love this palette a lot. The next palette I have here is the Balms Meet Matrimony, and this is another matte palette. I do love my mattes very much. I don't mind using shimmer shades, but my mattes for me are where it's at, and this is what this palette looks like here. And this always, for the most part, gets really good reviews. The pan sizes are really nice. The shades are really nice. You can get a lot of looks out of this palette. The next two quote-unquote palettes that I have are Melt Stacks. If you've never heard of the Melt Stacks, what rock have you been living under? No, I'm just kidding. These are just such great eyeshadows. If you've never tried one, I suggest you check out their website. They also have lipsticks, but they are really like funky colors and stuff. The first one I have here is the Dark Matter Stack, and this is the first one I ever got. So this is what it looks like, and they're magnetized. So they just fit together really nicely. And the first thing you have here is a mirror up top, and then you start with your shadow colors. Love my Dark Matter Stack. I tend to grab for this a lot when I'm doing a really nice smoky eye. And then the next one I have is the Love Sick Stack, and these are the shades. That purple is just amazing, and a gorgeous, like almost like a slate blue. That's a shimmer shade. And then you have that gorgeous, gorgeous cranberry color. So I'm gonna go into this palette holder. These are really letter holders for like the office. I got these at Staples, and I have several of these because I like to display a lot of the shadows that you know, are kind of aesthetically pleasing to the eye and really have great packaging. So here I have a lot of actually all of these are Urban Decay. So the first palette I have from Urban Decay is the Moon Dust palette. I want to say that this came out last summer because I believe I had purchased this. I went shopping for my birthday and knew that I wanted it. These, I guess, glitter shimmer shades are just absolutely gorgeous. They can take any look from just like to absolutely, you know, off the charts because the color is gorgeous. The way they look are absolutely beautiful. It is straight glitter, so or not even straight glitter because it's a very finely milled type of thing, so shimmer glitter, I guess, a hybrid if you will, but it's just a gorgeous palette, and the packaging of course is crazy. Urban Decay always does such a great job with their packaging. Then I have the Electric palette. This is a pigment palette, also by Urban Decay. These shades, I know sometimes they're like, you look at them and they scare you. It really shouldn't. These are absolutely beautiful. I've used all of these shades and I love them, but just, I mean, yeah, if you want a wild look, absolutely, this is one to go for, but you could still use some of these more subdued colors like the purple, even the blues in there as well, to just add just a little pop of something to a regular eye look. Then I have my Vice 4. I got this when I went on sale, I want to say for like 29 bucks, because I believe originally it was like $60 and I was not going to pay $60 for this palette. I have used this, not as much as I would like, but I have used it and I have been very impressed with the shades that I have used. I believe they come out with 1 or 2 of these every single year. Like I said, this is the number 4, and of course the packaging is just crazy good. Then the last one I have here is the Full Spectrum palette. I mean, again, packaging is just so perfect with Urban Decay palettes, and that is what that one looks like. So you have great color gradation, you know, like your pinks, oranges, purples, blues, greens, that sort of thing. I've gotten a lot of use out of this palette and I really do love it. So the next palette holder has my Juvia's Place palettes, the ones that I have so far. I did order the Zulu palette. It has been shipped out. I am expecting that I should probably get that by tomorrow or Friday, so I cannot wait to put up a tutorial. Juvia's Place palettes, and you've heard me talk about them if you've seen any of my tutorials with them, are some of my very favorite palettes. They are just great across the board. The pan size is amazing, the packaging is absolutely gorgeous, and the product inside is just absolutely wonderful. The first one I have is the Saharan, and I got this when I went to IMATS this year in New York, and I did a look with this, so I do have a tutorial with this palette on my channel. I can't even say enough good things about the Juvia's Place palettes. Then I have the Masquerade Mini. They had a regular Masquerade, but these are all the same colors. The pan sizes were just a little smaller, but just amazing. Like, again, I just can't, I could keep saying all day they're just fabulous, but they really, really are. And you know, they've really been kind of knocking it out of the park lately, and everybody's really finally realizing how great these palettes are. If you haven't tried them, do. The price per palette is very, very reasonable, $20 to $27. And actually the Zulu palette, which I was like, my mouth hit the floor, was $17. It's a smaller palette, but still that price is amazing. This is the Nubian 2, which was my first palette. This was the first one I got from them, and I absolutely love it. Like the green and the blue, that orange up top. Absolutely love this palette. And then the newest addition is the Magic palette, which just recently came out, and this is what it looks like. It's just, oh my gosh, like when I opened it after I got it, I was like, it is just so damn beautiful. These colors, I swatched most of them, and they swatch like a freaking dream. I also have a tutorial on my channel with this palette, but I do want to put together a couple of other looks because you can get so many looks out of each of these palettes. And then the last letter holder I have here has kind of a smattering of a couple of different things. The first thing I have is my Tartelette in Bloom palette by Tarte. I also purchased this at IMATS this year because it was on sale. One of my favorite palettes, just hands down one of my favorites. I've used this several times since I've gotten it at IMATS, and I just love it. The blendability on these shades, even the matte ones, is just redonkulous. And I've heard so many people say that they like the In Bloom better than the original Tartelette. This is just gorgeous. And then I have the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. When this went on sale, or when this was launched, it was 60 bucks. And for me, I'm sorry, but this was too boring for $60. It went on sale for 25 and I scooped it up. It has become one of my favorite palettes. I really, really do like it a lot. The shades, although a lot of them look similar, which is fine. You get a lot of shimmer shades, a few mattes there for transition colors, and the blackout at the bottom there. I really do love this palette, so I was glad that it went on sale because, like I said, I was not going to pay 60 bucks for it. And of course, the packaging is just amazing. The next palette I have is the Lorac Mega Pro 2. I was not kind of into makeup, if you will, when the Mega Pro 1 came out, so I didn't get that. But I heard about the fiasco with that there was just like not enough made and people were going crazy over it. So my sister actually got me this for Christmas when it came out 2 years ago, and I've used this a lot and I really do like it. I love Lorac shadows anyway, so just having a bigger palette like this is really nice. And then I have the Lorac Mega Pro 3. This was one of those because I knew what happened with the 2, that as soon as it came out they gave you the option with Ulta, and of course you get that because it's white, so everything gets so dirty. Ulta gave, I think, the platinum members an option to buy this early, and I jumped on it. I've gotten many looks out of this palette, and it's one of my favorites. And then the last one here I have is the Too Faced Christmas in New York Chocolate Shop palette. This was one of their really nice holiday packages from last year. And I know people always say that quality is not necessarily there when they come out with their holiday packages or their holiday palettes. I liked it. I don't know. I liked it. I've used this several times. Love this blush down here, the chocolate covered strawberry. It's really nice. And the purple, the teal, of course, is silver. You get a lot of the same colors almost, but I had never purchased a holiday palette from them, so I really wanted to do one last year, and I did, and I do like it. Moving on to a palette that I actually do not put in a drawer, I usually keep out. It's my Kat Von D Metal Matte palette, and this just came back out. I think it may have sold out, but I'm not certain. 60 bucks, so it's expensive, but this palette is freaking huge. Like, I don't know if you could see how big it really is on camera, but it is huge. It is one of my favorite palettes. I'm so glad that I bought it. Like, if I had to do it all over again, I would absolutely pay $60 for this damn palette. It is just so amazing. I love it how you get like what metal is supposed to be, all these top shades, so they're very shimmery, and then you get your mattes on the bottom. This black and blue are crazy good. I've used the transition colors, this color at the end here. I've used the purple and the green and the white as well, and I've used some of the shimmer shades. Again, one of my favorite palettes. I got this because I had missed out on the Mi Vida Loca palette, and I know that people are screaming for her to bring that back, and I'm so sorry that I missed that because I heard that it's really good. The next one I have is a new addition, and I'm going to try not to blind you. This is the Jouer Skinny Dip Ultra Foil Shimmer Shadow Palette. And this is what it looks like. I used this in a recent tutorial just to kind of use an inner corner highlight, and I've swatched these and they are amazing. So I cannot wait to put together another tutorial using these shades. From the balm, I have the Balm Jovi. It's Living on a Stair, which is, I think, so cute. I actually got this at the Nordstrom rack when I went down to visit my best friend in Florida, and because it was on a good sale, I decided to get it. So this is what it looks like. You get a little mirror up top there, and then you have your shadows, blush, a highlighter, and then 2 lip products. I love that the lip products are separate so that the powder doesn't get into there when you're using this palette. I haven't used it yet, but I can't wait to use it. Then I also have this MAC eyeshadow palette. This was from their Nutcracker Sweet holiday collection, which came out last year. I was very lucky. I know some MAC stores were doing pre-orders or pre-sales, and I was able to reserve mine, and that's what it looks like. I really do like these shadows. I've used them once or twice. They were good when I used them. I do want to use this more though, but I was impressed when I did use them. So the palettes that you see here, I've started taking stuff out of my drawer. I will do kind of an overview at the end so you can just see what it looks like in the drawer, but they're so low to the ground that this camera would literally have to hit the floor, and I think that would be very uncomfortable, not only for me, but also for you viewing at home. So starting over here on the left, I have a MAC palette, and this is one that I put together myself. And let me go ahead and open that because I know that ring light is really probably washing everything out. But these are the shades that I have there. I do have a couple of more spaces to fill. I like MAC shadows very much, and the fact that they are now $6 a piece regular price as opposed to I think it was like $8 or $9 is great, because I know they're probably trying to stay in touch with things like Makeup Geek and ColourPop, whose shadows are extremely cheap or inexpensive I should say, but still excellent quality. So I really do like this palette. Then the next one I have is my Z palette, and in here I have actually all of my Makeup Geek are in here, but this is not only just Makeup Geek. I also, I believe, have some NYX down there as well, but I do keep my Makeup Geek shadows in here. And this was my first ever Z palette that I got probably about 2 or 3 years ago. This next palette is hands down probably my favorite palette, I want to say. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour palette. I had put off buying this for so long, and I kept seeing people, you know, on YouTube giving reviews saying it was so good. Why had they waited so long? And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna bite the bullet, and I did finally get it probably about, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 months ago, and it's one of my most used palettes, even though it may not look like it. Because the color payoff, you get so much by dipping your brush in there just a bit. It can be absolutely powdery, so you do have to tap off the excess, but the way it's set up, so you have like quads, and then it comes with like this cheat sheet. I tend to stay in the middle quad because I like the cool colors, but this is probably the easiest daily smoky eye that I do. It literally takes me less than 5 minutes, and I'm sure you can smoke it out even more for night, but that middle quad there, I put together that look and it looks so well put together. I mean, just gorgeous. And so because of that, because of the ease and the way I, you know, the way it looks on my eyes, the way it wears, the way it blends out, it is like far and away my favorite palette of all of them that I own. Then I have this Urban Decay, it's like an empty palette, it's like their pro palette. So basically it comes empty and you just fill it up with their shadows. I only have 4 of their shadows so far. I do like Urban Decay shadows, but I just don't buy them a lot, you know, like individually, as you can see. I think I even got 2 of these as like birthday gifts from Ulta or something like that. But the palette itself is very nice. If you were into using, you know, like their individual shadows for work, you know, freelancing or whatever, this is a great little palette to put everything in. There we go. It wasn't working out before. The next 3 I have are from Ulta. The first one is the Prismatic palette, and I've used a few of these shades. They're really nice for what they're for. They're kind of shimmery shades, and I believe I got it for like, I don't know, on sale for like $10. The next one I have is the Rose Gold palette. A friend of mine actually gave me this because she wasn't getting a lot of use out of it. I haven't used it yet, but I love the colors that are in here, so I can't wait to use it. And this little baby here surprised the pants off of me. This is their matte neutrals, and again, because I love mattes, I went ahead and purchased it when it first came out. It was $20. One of my favorite matte palettes. Just so beautiful. I get so many looks out of this. It's so easy to put the, you know, the shades together and get a quick look. I use this a lot before I get ready for work, or to get ready for work, I should say, and it doesn't quit. It's just such a great palette. So if you haven't gotten this, a huge recommend from me. Again, this is the matte neutrals from Ulta. So we're going to continue on. This is from Sugar Pill. It is the Edward Scissorhands palette. This was a very limited edition item, and I liked it very much. My sister was very into this palette and actually surprised me with it. The year she got me the, what was it, the Mega Pro 2 from Lorac. She also got me this as kind of a little side surprise, and so it was really nice that she did that. I haven't used this palette yet. I I think I'm afraid to because of these two shades here, which I shouldn't be. So I really think that I do have to keep this out, which I am going to do now because I do need to use this. But it could be 10 years out and it could be absolutely stinky and expired, and even if I don't use it, I'm definitely not getting rid of this because the packaging is just absolutely gorgeous. The next one I have is also a palette that I liked very, very much. This is actually the second one because I had bought a backup, and the first one I just literally busted into the ground. But this is the Self-Made palette from Anastasia, and just these colors, looking at them, absolutely gorgeous. This deep purple is the very best purple, hands down for me, that I have used from any palette, any individual, anything. And I am dying for her to bring it out in an individual shade because I do not believe they do. She has some purple shades, but it's not this deep purple. This will give you such a gorgeous, gorgeous look on the eye. The mint green here is very beautiful too. The hot chocolate is so beautiful on the eyes. This is definitely, like I said, one of my favorite palettes. Then I have the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. This is a very nice palette, and of course it smells like chocolate. I think everybody knows what that looks like. The shades are really nice. You get a lot of great transition shades. That pink, that blue at the bottom, really nice for pops of color. And then right here in the middle, that shimmer shade is really gorgeous as well. Then I have the original chocolate bar from Too Faced. I haven't gotten the semi-sweet yet. I'm not sure that I am, but I really do like the chocolate bar on its own. Really nice shimmers, really nice transition shades there. That green, that gilded ganache, absolutely gorgeous. And of course it smells like chocolate, so you can't go wrong. This is a drugstore palette. This is from L'Oreal. It's La Palette Noire, and I actually have not used this yet. And I have to. And the only reason why I haven't decluttered this is because I need to use these shades. All of these shades from left to right, absolutely, these are my kind of shades. They speak to my cool toned heart. So that's the only reason why I haven't decluttered it. But I don't know, I think I just have to leave it out so I can be reminded to use it. But as soon as it came out, like, I was on the hunt for it, and Ulta didn't sell it in store, so I had to order it online. The next one I have is the IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty palette. It's an all matte palette, and then it has like this transforming pearl if you wanted to add a little, not shimmer per se, but just so that it's not necessarily matte. These shades are very nice, and sorry if I'm blinding you because it is kind of metallic. The shades are very, very nice. And sit beautifully on the eyes. Very simple to use as well. It doesn't take a lot to make these colors really get on the eye and put together a nice quick look. The next two I have here are the Lorac Pro and Lorac Pro 2, and this is what the one looks like. These palettes, when people ask me sometimes like, what should I get as starter palettes, I always recommend this. You have your shimmer shades on the bottom, you have your mattes on the top, you have a great combination of your transition shades, your lighter shades, your nice dark shades. You always get nice purple, that gray at the bottom is really nice. This garnet right here is absolutely gorgeous. So again, I think this is a really nice staple type of palette. The quality is there. These are usually, I think, like $44, but to me they're worth every penny. And then the Pro 2, actually I got the Pro 2 first, and then I ended up getting the Pro 1. This is my favorite of the two, just because, as you can see, that blue and purple up top are well loved and well used, but the light brown is great as a transition shade. I always use the cool gray as well. The black is very nice, and then this jade and cocoa down here, absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, this one is my favorite out of the two that I own. Lorac really does put out great product. It's something that is almost like just needs to be a staple. So moving over to my Urban Decay Naked palettes, I do have the original Naked. My sister actually gave me this. She had ordered the Vault, and she said, you know, I'm not using all of them, so I'm going to give you a few. So this is the original palette. I think I used this a few times. I like the Naked palettes. I think they were really kind of the first who did something like this, where there were like neutrals. And then this is the Naked 2, and this was actually my first one. I'm going to try not to tip it over too much because I dropped this at one point and it broke. Not broke, but a couple of like the shadows came out. But again, I do like this palette. It's got a lot of nice shimmer shades, a lot of mattes. You can get several looks out of this palette. And then the last Naked palette that I have from Urban Decay is Naked Smoky. When this went on sale, I remember I bought it like the minute it went on sale. I was like, I need to have it. I love nothing more than a fabulous smoky eye, and if you've seen any of my tutorials, you kind of get that gist. Even if the colors are different, if it's not just a straight black, I love a smoky eye. So when I got this, I was like, yes, I'm all about that smoky eye life. Moving on to the next several palettes. This one is the Lorac. Let's see, what is this called? I want to say it's the California Dreamin' palette? I think it was. So this is what it looks like. Really great packaging. Like all of the little pictures are raised and stuff. Really nice. And then this is what it looks like inside. It got really nice reviews from people. It's not something that necessarily reinvented the wheel, but the colors are gorgeous and they look really beautiful on the eyes. So I'm pulling one from back here. This is the Sephora collection when it came out with the Minnie Mouse collection. And so I had gotten this during one of their VIB sales, and I just needed to have this palette. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is so fun, and the packaging is crazy beautiful. And you can actually use this as a little clutch, so that's why it looks like a purse. I have two cargo palettes here. This is the first one that I have, and this is called Chill in the 6. Cargo palettes, when you look at them, are absolutely so beautiful to look at. You get an eye pencil and a double-ended brush. I have to say though that some of these shadows leave a lot to be desired. Unfortunately, they are kind of hit or miss for me. They're not the best when it comes to like consistency, where all the colors are really pigmented, really look good on the eyes, really blend out beautifully, really last nicely. So I was quite disappointed in both of these palettes actually, but I do want to keep using them a little more because the colors are gorgeous. And this cargo palette here is called Down Under. And I mean, just, you know what I mean? Like you look at those colors and you're just like, damn, the blue, the teal, the green, the suntan here above, it's a shimmery shade. And I've used this a few times. Like I said, I had to really work at it. I think the other palette was more of a disappointment for me, but again, I'm keeping them because I do want to keep working with them. I also have one of my pride and joys, I guess if you will. It's an Inglot palette that I made myself. I ordered this through Beautylish, and I love it because you just get the like the compact, the empty compact, or the palette, and then you fill it with whatever shades you want. They have so many shades that it is cuckoo nuts to even look at all of them to pick what you like. So you see here there's a smattering of a lot of greens, blues, purples, a black, of course that crazy orange and kind of blue there, that shimmery blue to the side there, and then I have like all my transition shades up top. These are some of the best shadows you can buy. They are worth the money. I forget what they are per shadow, but again, you know, you get your empty palette and you just build it up. But like I said, I got this on Beautylish, and I've said it before, what I like about Beautylish is that if you order over $100, they give you 3 months to pay for it. So that's what I did one time when I was ready to put through a new order. I just created this palette. It came up to a little over $100, but I got a lot of shadows. They're big sizes, and they are also, like I said, one of the very best formulas out there that you can buy. Then I have my Colored Rain palette here, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love the packaging on this, and in the back it says always be fierce. You know mama's gotta be fierce. So in here I have a smattering of different shadows. Up top to the left there I have my pressed ColourPop shadows, and if you've watched my tutorials you know that I grab for those quite often. I have some from Colored Rain, I have some from NYX. The bottom, those little rectangles, are from Mary Kay. So I really do love this palette because it's so big and it holds everything wonderfully. I do take this with me when I travel because I have so much in here to choose from. So we're at the last wave of the palettes that I have in the Alex drawers, starting here with this Morphe palette. This is one that I created myself, so I bought the empty palette and then I just started filling it with different shadows there. These shadows were based off of some of Jaclyn Hill's tutorials, and I just wanted to recreate the look, so I went ahead and purchased these individually from Morphe. Then I have the original BH Cosmetics Carly Bybel palette. This is 14 colors of eyeshadows and highlighters. If you have this, you already know that it's really nice quality. The highlighters just are amazing. Really, really beautiful. The shadows are so-so for me, or were so-so for me, but the highlighters really, really brought the pain in a good way with this palette. I was also able to get my hands on the deluxe edition of the Carly Bybel palette, and this one is 21 colors, also eyeshadows and highlighters. So as you can see, the format of it, or the presentation, is still the same with the eyeshadows up top, but you get a few more highlighters. Absolutely gorgeous. Love this. The quality of the shadows was much better this time around. I also have a tutorial and a small review that I did with this palette, but this is really nice, and it's only $20 or $21. Like, you can't go wrong. Even if you said the shadows are so-so for me, the highlighters are crazy good. Really, really good. Like, she did such a great job with this palette. Then here I have a few BH Cosmetics palettes. This is the Foil Eyes, and this is 28 shades. This is really nice. This is a really nice palette. Very surprised, especially because of the amount of money that it costs. It wasn't expensive at all. With my foil shadows, whether they're expensive or not, I always use Fix Plus. So for me, that just makes the foil or shimmer pop. I really do like this palette a lot. And again, it's just a couple of bucks. So if you're looking for like an all foil shadow palette, this is a really nice option if you're not looking to spend a gazillion bucks. This one here is the Smoky Eyes palette. I forgot if I got this on their website or at like TJ Maxx or something, but this is a pretty okay palette. I've used a couple of the shades here, and it's nice. This one, I don't know, it's not something to write home about, but it is a nice palette, so I do keep it around. And that red, I've used that red a lot. And then this one is the Blush Neutrals. This is a 26 color eyeshadow and blush palette. A friend of mine gave me this. Actually, it was the same friend who gave me the Rose Gold palette from Ulta. She's into makeup, but not so much. This palette I actually can't wait to use. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this out because these shades are gorgeous. The blushes, I love BH Cosmetics blushes. So I think I am going to keep this out so I can go ahead and use it because I haven't used it yet. The next palette I have is the Disney Alice Through the Looking Glass. This was done by Urban Decay. The packaging alone is like, I mean, look at it. It's absolutely phenomenal. And then when you open the top of the package, you have a gorgeous mirror. You don't want to see me because I look like hell. And then it says, "I'm not strange, weird, off, nor crazy. My reality is just different from yours." And then when you open up top here, look how gorgeous that is. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, the packaging on this alone is absolutely stunning. I keep it closed just because it doesn't really stay open, but even just having it like that is beautiful. So this is what the actual palette looks like. So you just take that out, it's like a drawer, and these are what the colors look like. So the way it's set, it almost looks 3D. This is cardboard. I know a lot of people were like pissed off about that, but the rest of the packaging, the rest of the box is absolutely gorgeous. And just the names of some of these, like Dormouse, Hatter, Lily, Looking Glass, Metamorphosis, is just beautiful. And I've used several of these colors and I do like it. The next one I have is a Makeup Forever like empty tin. I actually got this at IMATS. I haven't filled it in yet. I have one little lonely Makeup Forever eyeshadow, but these are really, really good eyeshadows, so I am looking forward to filling this up. And then last but certainly not least, I have several Morphe palettes here. The first one I have is the 35E. And this is what it looks like. It's very nice shimmer. Again, I always use Fix Plus with my shimmers, so whether it's Morphe or a super high-end, it doesn't matter. The Fix Plus always helps shimmers really pop on the eyes. Then the next one I have here is the 35B, which stands for Bright. And bright it is. I love this palette very, very much. The colors in here are gorgeous. I've used several of them, a lot of them for like Halloween looks, but I just love this palette, just love the smattering of colors and the choice of colors you get. And then the next one I have is my 35OM palette, which is the 35O but the matte version. My sister got the 35O at IMATS, the original, and I actually really like the way that looks, so I think I'm going to pick that up as well. But this is just absolutely beautiful, and I've used this several times and I really do like it. And then the last Morphe palette I have here is the 35F, F as in Frank. And this is shimmers, all shimmers, and then down here you have a row of mattes. This is one of my favorite palettes that I have. Just love the combination, love the shades, and again, I use Fix Plus, so you know, I have no issues at all with these shimmer shades. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. And I use this even in the summer because this came out, I think, during fall, but I love the way this looks on the eyes. So like I had told you earlier in the video, I was just going to give you a quick overview of the drawers once I had put the palettes back. I think it was just easier to bring them out. So this is the drawer where the bigger palettes go because they can't necessarily fit in another drawer or like on its side as opposed to laying down flat. So this is the main palette drawer because I have most of my palettes in here. As you can see, a lot of these palettes being smaller can stand up on their side as opposed to laying down flat, although some are laying down flat. But that does it for this portion of my makeup collection videos. I hope you enjoyed. Please put down in the comments below your favorite palettes, or you know, that ride or die palette that you just cannot do without. Eyeshadows is one of my favorite products in the makeup world besides blush. I live for eyeshadow. So thanks again for spending a few moments of your day with me. Please subscribe if you haven't, and make sure you click that little bell so that you get alerted as to when I upload new videos. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!